Hello and welcome back to Modalities Movement Therapy. Today we are looking at the big toe link. Pressing the big toe, which is part of our deep core line, into the mat will help prevent the foot arch from dropping. This is known as pronation, which stops the knee from caving in and allows the glutes to effectively activate. So when we push the big toe into the ground, it activates the glute maximus by stabilizing that medial arch and creating a stable base for the spiral and the lateral line of the body. This grounding prevents excessive internal rotation of that femur bone, allowing the glutes to engage more effectively for hip extension and external rotation. By anchoring your foot, you will create tensegrity that improves pelvic stability, prevents compensation patterns, and allows the biggest muscle group of the body to activate and produce maximum force. So for the workout, you're going to need a hard and a soft reflex ball and one of these loop resistance bands. So start in standing, and you're going to bring the ball onto the big toe, and you're going to roll over the arch of the foot to the heel. So just focus on the deep core line from the big toe over the arch of the foot to the heel. Repeat that a few times, and then you're going to settle with the ball in the arch of the foot and circle in one direction. Then change that direction. And we're going to work along the lateral side of the foot as well. So from the little toe all the way to the heel. We pretty much want to cover the entire foot. We want to create a stable foundation for that balance, for the activation of those glute muscles. Let's move the ball over to the other side. So from the big toe to the heel, over the arch of the foot. Try keep the ball right underneath you so you can put as much weight into it as you can, as you need to. Then settle with the ball in the arch of the foot, and you're going to circle in one direction and then change direction. Now move the ball over to the lateral side of the foot, from the little toe all the way to the heel. And then just make sure you've covered the entire sole of the foot. Don't forget about the toes. And you can finish off with one more. We're now going to put that hard reflex ball to the side, and you're going to position the yellow ball, whichever soft reflex ball you have. If you don't have a reflex ball, you can use a tennis ball, but the little nodules will really help stimulate those proprioceptors. Bring the feet and spread the toes out and squeeze that reflex ball. Then you're going to rise up onto the balls of the feet. So breathe into this position and a nice slow steady breath through the nose and exhale through the nose. So just try challenge your balance by squeezing and rising up and holding it for a few seconds as you breathe into this lifted position and then exhale. So we're working nice and slowly, focusing on the inhalation as we come up. And don't forget about that exhalation as you lower down. So inhalation for 4 counts and exhalation for 4 counts. Try and stay in that lifted position if you can. And really squeeze that reflex ball. Keep going, let's do another 4. And exhale. And 3. And exhale. Last 2. And exhale. And the 1. Last 1. And exhale. Circle the arms and breathe in. Really lengthen and reach up. Exhale, roll down. Now you're going to position the reflex ball between the inner thighs. That's still part of that deep core line. So I'm just going to stand at an angle. Bring your one foot up, doesn't matter which side. Squeeze the reflex ball. And you're going to feel the movement in your supporting hip. So we're lifting and lowering that bent leg, but the movement you'll feel in this hip. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. 4 more. Look up. Keep the posture nice and lifted. Keep that big toe pushing into the mat. Last 1. And just release that foot. Reposition the ball if you need to. You can bring it slightly higher up. Then drop that hip. So you're going to feel the movement again in that stabilizing leg. Spread the toes out. Really think of that big toe in the supporting leg. Keep going. Lift and lower. You're going to do another 4 and 3, 2 and 1. Release the foot. Breathe in again and exhale as you roll down. Release the reflex ball. Breathe in. Uncurl through the spine. And let's take that one leg and lift it up off the mat. You're going to move again into the hips, and we're going to go into an external rotation. So make sure that movement is coming from the torso. You can take the hands onto the rib cage if that will help. You're going to externally rotate the foot and externally rotate the upper body. So think of the connections, breathing in as you open up. As you exhale, come into an internal rotation with the leg and with the upper body. So we're breathing in as we externally rotate, and then exhaling into that internal rotation. Here we go for 3. Breathing in and exhale. Breathe in for 4 and exhale. Hold on to something if you need to and exhale. Let's do another 3 and exhale. Last 2 and exhale. 1 more and exhale. Just loosen up in that supporting leg, and let's stand on that leg that was lifted and lift up and out of the hip and breathe into that external rotation. Exhale to that internal rotation. Breathing in for 2 and exhale for 3. Breathe in for 4. 4 to go. Stabilize yourself, pushing into the big toe. And last 2. 1 more. And just wiggle the hips from side to side. Okay, we're coming down onto the mat. So stand lengthways and breathe in again. Reach, extend, and circle the arms up. Roll down again. And you're going to come onto the hands and knees. Take that reflex ball or tennis ball and bring it inside your hip bone. So let's start on the right side into what we call the iliac dungeon. So if you can, you're going to position the ball under the right hand and then inside that hip. You're going to lie forward in a prone position and keep the hand under the ball if you can. If you find you're getting deep enough without the hand under the ball, then you've got that option as well. Rest your forehead on your left fist. And now we're going to breathe into the reflex ball. So you're breathing in for 4 counts. And exhale. So you've actually got 3 options here. That's your first option. Second option, without the hand, if you find you're getting deep enough. And then your third option, keeping the hand under the ball and then lifting that leg up as you breathe in and exhaling as you lower down. This is obviously going to help us get a little bit deeper into the release. Breathing in. But listen to your body. Exhale and lower. You want to take yourself out of your comfort zone, but get that release wherever you're feeling the most release. Do another 4. And 3. Any tension in the lower back, you keep that leg on the mat. 2 more. And the last one, breathing in and exhale. Okay. Let's do the same thing over to the other side. Bring the ball underneath that left hip, inside the left hip, so it's between the belly button and the left hip, into that iliac dungeon. Hand, no hand, it's your option. Wherever you feel you're getting the most release, listen to that body and breathe in. Lift that leg up if you can. Any tension in the lower back, you'll keep that leg on the mat. Breathing in and exhale. Here we go for 3. Breathing in and exhale. Breathing in and exhale. Another 4 to go. And exhale. 3 more. Last 2. And 1 more. Breathing in and exhale. And release that ball. We're now going to move on to the lateral part of the body. We've spoken about this muscle, this little muscle at the top of the lateral side of the leg, the TFL before. Find your hip bone. Move back to the diagonal, and then you're going to position the ball. Play around with the position of the ball. So we're going to lie on our lateral side. Bring the top foot in front, then you're going to lift that hip up off the mat, and now you're going to try and find that TFL. So the hip bone is here. I've gone slightly back to the diagonal, and you'll know when you found it. What we're now going to do, staying on the elbow, is we're going to roll the ball forward as we breathe out, and roll the ball back as we breathe in. So like I said, you're going to need to find that little muscle at the top of the lateral side of the leg And once you've found it, then you're going to move into this open position and roll forward. So the ball is moving slightly forward and back. If you're not feeling much, then play around with the position of the ball and you'll know when you found that muscle. Breathe in as you open up and exhale and rock forward. Breathing in. So you're putting as much weight into the ball as you can. Use the hand if you need to. If you can put a little bit more weight into it, then release the hand bring it onto the knee. Do another 3. 2 more. And the last one. Okay, can you stay there and just come into a seated position on the ball? Feet flat, knees are bent, and let's roll around the glutes. Up and down. Biggest muscle group in the body. We need maximum force. You need stability. These are your hip stabilizing muscles. We want them to be strong. Four more. 3, 2, and just pop the ball over to the other side. Release the glutes, then we'll move on to that lateral side of the leg. Up and down next to the spine, and then move that ball around. Keep going, 4 more. And 3, 2, and 1. Okay, lying on your elbow, your lateral side, extend your bottom leg, bring your top foot in front, lift your hip up off the mat, and let's play around with the position of the ball until you find that sweet spot. Now we're going to roll forward and back. Hand on the mat or up on the knee. Small movement, not a big range of movement. We want to hang out there. It's a small muscle. We want to hang out around that area. So you can move the ball up and down slightly. Breathing in as you open up and exhale as you rock forward. Keep going, another 4, 3, 2, and 1. From this position, we're now going to bring that reflex ball underneath the shoulder blade. So we're going to release the upper trapezius muscles. So let's start on the left side for a change. Position that ball where the shoulder meets the neck and supporting the head in the right hand. We're going to breathe in and open up into this arch again. As you do that, you're going to circle that left elbow down and around and exhale. Breathe in, open up, exhale, push the lower back and circle around. Breathing in and exhale. Keep going, breathing in and exhale. So in this position, your feet should be getting lighter, the lower back's pushing into the mat. Breathing in and exhale. Keep going, let's do 3 more. and exhale. Last 2. And 1 more. Hold it in that open position and just roll the ball sort of in a little bit of an arc shape. So from the shoulder towards the spine, just a small movement, giving it a little bit more attention. Rock off that left shoulder and release the reflex ball. Let's now take the ball onto the neck. We have a muscle here that runs from behind the ear. So slightly drop your right ear into the mat and then expose this muscle on the left side. So from behind the ear down towards your clavicle, you've got a muscle there, part of our deep core line, that's, or it's actually part of our lateral line. It's going to need to be released and push and twist into the ball. So we're working along the sternocleidomastoid from behind the ear down towards that clavicle. You're going to push and twist. Like we would squeeze a lemon or an orange, you're going to push and twist the ball. Push and twist the ball all the way down to where it meets the clavicle there. From behind the ear, let's move onto the jaw and just roll the ball along the jawline down towards the chin. You can do the lemon squeezing again. So you're pushing into the cheek or just above the jaw and twisting, push and twist. Let's move the ball up onto the temporal lobe, and just in that little temporal lobe, just a very light pressure, just a circular motion with the ball. Then you're going to take the ball and you're going to roll over the forehead, which is quite a sensitive area because we don't have a lot of subcutaneous fat around this area. So just gently rolling the ball. As you roll the ball, move it over to the right lateral side and find your temporal lobe next to your eye, around there, and just roll the ball in little circular motions. Now move down the side of the face and come onto the jawline. I'm going to now support my head in my left hand and just roll around this area. Up and down. You can start pushing and twisting, just a light pressure. You want to release this jaw and any tension that you might feel in this area. Let's move onto the neck. So down towards the clavicle, from behind the ear, you're pushing along that sternocleidomastoid muscle. This helps with rotation. Pushing and twisting, pushing and twisting, pushing and twisting, all the way down to the clavicle. Keep going. Two and one. We're now going to position the ball underneath the right shoulder, where the shoulder meets the neck and that upper trapezius muscle and the muscles that lift and lower the shoulder. Lift the shoulder and position the ball. Support the head in the hand. And now we're going to breathe into that arch. Circle the elbow up and exhale. Bring the elbow to the waist. Let's breathe in and exhale. So the ball should be between the shoulder blade and the spine on that soft tissue there. And exhale. Keep going, breathing in and exhale. Another 4 and exhale. 3 last 2 and 1. Let's hold it in that open position. You'll see I'm lifting my shoulder blades off the mat. The back is off the mat. Just the tailbone is resting on the mat. And that ball is just rolling a little bit from side to side for another 4, 3, 2, and 1. You can now put the ball to the side, support your head in your hands, open up your feet as wide as the mat. As you breathe in, you're going to open up into this arch. As you exhale, push the lower back into the mat. The pelvis is going to tilt. Your feet should be getting lighter. So you shouldn't need to compensate in the back. Feet are getting lighter, and you could let the feet float off the mat. Release the feet if they lifted. Breathe in into that arch. Exhale, push into the tilt and tuck. Any strain in the lower back, you can just let the heels float off. Keep the balls of the feet in the mat. But try let the feet get lighter, so you're pushing the weight into the lower back. Breathing in and exhaling. So here we're going to focus more on the exhalation. So you can bring your hands onto your rib cage as you breathe in to that eccentric contraction. You're opening up. As you exhale, you're pushing into that tuck position. You can let the feet float off. Let's do another 2. Breathing in and exhaling. And 1 more. Breathing in and exhaling. Okay, let's bring the head back into the hands. And now we're going to add a rotation. So as we breathe in, the knees are dropping to one side. As you exhale, let the knees float up to the ceiling. Keep the feet on the mat. And you're going to exhale into this position, then breathe in and rock the knees over to the other side. As you exhale, come into that tuck. If you want, you can lift the feet and let the feet float off the mat, but only as long as the lower back is firmly in the mat. Breathing in, dropping the knees again over to the first side. Exhaling to tuck and let the feet float off the mat. Back into the rotation, breathing in and exhaling and lift. Another 4 to go. Breathing in and exhale into that lift. 3 more. Breathing in and exhale. Last 2. And the last one. Breathe in back into your rotation. This time we're going to bring the foot, so the front foot onto the back knee. So I'm on my right side, so my right foot is on my right knee. Breathe in to this position. As I exhale, I'm coming into a chest lift, and I want to continue with my rotation. So as I exhale, I'm going to use my right foot to push the knee down to activate the lateral side of the body. Breathing in to this position. Then you're exhaling. You're going to push with that foot. You're going to really activate, lifting the right elbow but keeping the left elbow on the mat as I rotate into that oblique crunch. Now breathe in We're going to stay to the right side, and you're going to continue the crunch in those oblique muscles. Breathe out into the crunch. Use that right foot to create that tensegrity, that tension, and activation will be easier. Breathe in and exhale. Keep going, breathing in and exhale. Another 4, breathing in and exhale. 3 to go. Last 2. Breathe in for the last 1. Breathe in and open up. Release that right foot, and let's just rock over to do the same thing to the left side. So position the left foot on the right knee. You're breathing in, you're opening up. Now as you exhale, create that resistance with the left foot and that tensegrity down that lateral line, exhaling into that rotational movement. Breathing in and exhale. We're opening up in the hip, we're crunching into those obliques, and we're breathing in as we open up. Exhaling. Here we go for 3. Breathe in and exhale. Breathe in for 4 and exhale. Really crunch, push that lower rib cage and that lower back into the mat. Breathe in, 4 to go. And 3. Last 2. And exhale. 1 more, breathing in and exhale. Release that left foot, release the head onto the mat. Just rock the knees a few times from side to side. Hug your knees into your chest. Lengthen out, have a nice big yawn, and stretch. Hug your knees back into your chest, and let's take that resistance band, that loop resistance band, and bring it just above your knees. You're now going to rock onto your side, your elbow in line with your hips, in line with your feet. Your feet are stacked, and your knees to the diagonal. Here we're going to breathe in, we're going to open up, then we're going to exhale into a rotation. I'm bringing the ball of my top foot into the arch of my bottom foot, and I'm going to reach that arm around. So I'm coming into that rotation and creating that tension with the resistance band, activating those muscles there. So we're in that rotation, and I'm going to give you 2 options here. Breathing in and then exhaling. Your second option is to breathe in and then exhale into that rotation. As you breathe in, you drop down onto the elbow. As you exhale, come into the lift, and you're pulling away from the elbow, the supporting elbow. So those 2 options again, breathing in and then exhaling, or breathing in and coming into that lift, pulling away. When you're on the hip, you should try and also pull away as you rotate and lift that knee. Breathing in and exhaling. Breathing in and exhaling. Opening up. Keep going, breathing in. Three more. Last two. And one more. Hold it in that open position. Hand on the wrist and pulse that foot up. For 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Let's rock over to the other side. Band still around the knees, feet in line with the tailbone, in line with the elbow. Let's breathe in, open up. As you exhale, rotate that knee, come into that lift and push away from that elbow. Breathing in and exhale. The second option, staying on the elbow and the hip. Breathing in and exhale. Here we go for 3. Breathing in for 4. 4 to go. And 3. Last 2. And one more. Hand onto that bottom arm and pulse that foot. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly lower down. Rock around onto your hands and knees. On your hands and knees, you're going to keep the resistance band just above the knees, hands directly under the shoulders, and you're going to come into your short plank position. So you're going to keep the knees just hovering above the mat and keep the resistance in the band. So push the knees slightly apart. Now we're going to breathe in. I want you to look up, extend the chin, and then you're exhaling into your pyramid or down dog position. Breathing in, hover off the knees in your short plank position. Look up as you breathe in. Exhale to short plank, to extended down dog position. Breathe in and exhale. Keep going, breathing in and exhale. Do another 4 and exhale. 3. Keep pushing against that resistance band. Last 2. And one more. Hold it in this position. Relax your forehead, relax your head. Let your neck relax. And then you're going to just walk the hands to the feet. And then breathe yourself into this lifted position. Okay, now we're moving into a lunge position and we're going to work that front foot, so you're not having the feet too far away, you're pushing into the ball. So I'm starting with my left foot in front, pushing into the ball of my right foot. We're going to get movement into that hip, we're going to keep the resistance in the band, and we're going to push into the big toe and into the lateral part of the foot as well. But we need to keep the toes spread out and the weight firmly spread out in the foot. As we breathe in, we're going to rotate the arms up and down and back, and you're going to slightly lift that right hip. So left foot, right hip. There, breathe in, and then drop that hip and rotate. So pushing into the big toe to help stabilize you, and you should push against the resistance band, really feel those glutes activating. Let's drop down, breathe in, and rotate. Exhale and rotate. Keep going. Here we go for 3. And exhale. Breathe in for 4. And exhale. 4 to go. Three more. And the last one. And just shake everything out. Let's do the same to the other side. So right foot is now in front, resistance in the band, pushing into the ball of the left foot, and just lift that hip up. Keep pushing into that big toe. Breathe in, and now exhale and rotate. Push into that big toe. Feel what's happening in the glutes. Breathe in and exhale. Breathing in and exhale. Breathing in and exhale. 4 more. And 3. Last 2. And 1 more. And shake everything out. Good. From there, we're going to position the band just around the ankles and finish off with a nice balancing release, or activation, shall I say, and rotate that foot and circle the leg in front, and now circle around to the back. Breathing in and out. Here we go for 4. Breathing in and out. 4 to go. And 3 more. Last 2. And 1 more. Think of your posture. That'll help you with your stability. What's happening in that foot? Okay. Okay. Stabilizing yourself, spreading your toes out, lifting up, and you're going to keep the resistance in the band by circling that leg in front and breathing out as you bring the leg behind. Breathing in and exhaling. Breathing in another 4 to go. And 3. Last 2. Think of that posture. Stay nice and lifted. And finish off with 1 more. Good. Standing on that foot, let's finish off with the other side. So start off with that leg in front. Make sure that your foundation is spread out. Exhale, rotate behind. Breathing in and exhaling. Here we go for 3. And exhale. Breathe in for 4. 4 to go. And 3. Last 2. And 1 more. Good, and just release that band. Let's shake everything out. Swing the arms around the body. Finish off breathing yourself into a lifted position. Exhaling, roll down. And onto your hands and knees. Lower down onto your mat. Forehead on your hands. And just open up the feet. Wiggle the hips from side to side. Hands underneath the shoulders. Let's breathe in. Nod the head from side to side. Any strain in the lower back, you keep the elbows on the mat and just nod the head from side to side. If you can, hands under there in that cobra position, and then lower down onto the chest, back onto your hands and knees. Feet together, knees apart. Rest your forehead on your mat or on your hand and just breathe and release. Breathing in and out. Finish off 1 more as you breathe in. Uncurl through the spine and just circle the shoulders up and back. And well done. Thank you for joining me.